Artha in brief. Spending Artha. Luck costs 1 fate point, and it open-ends 6s. Shrug it off costs 1 fate, and temporarily negates +1 ob penalty. Boon costs 1 persona point, +1 D to stat or skill for 1 test, max 3 points per roll. Focus costs 1 persona, and it counters a time complication. Grit your teeth costs 1 persona point, and it temporarily negates -1 D of wound penalty. Will to live costs 1 persona, and it allows a player to test health so their character may recover from a mortal wound. Divine Inspiration costs 1 deeds point, and it doubles the dice for 1 test. Saving Grace costs 1 deeds point, and re-rolls the failed dice from 1 test. Aristia costs 5 fate, 3 persona, and 1 deeds, and you get a grey skill or stat, or ignore wound penalties. Optionally, you can have a complication which costs 1 persona and allows you to cheat death. Earning Artha. Belief earns 1 fate point for driving the game forward with a belief. An instinct earns 1 fate point for playing an instinct that makes the character's life difficult. A trait can earn 1 fate point for invoking a trait that sends the story in an unforeseen direction. Humour earns 1 fate point for an in-character game stopper. Right skill, right time earns 1 fate for having the skill to make the story go. Embodiment earns 1 persona point for really good or distinctive role-playing. Moldbreaker earns 1 persona point for going beyond the bounds of character. Workhorse earns 1 persona point for doing all the work for the scenario. MVP earns 1 persona point for being the crucial element of success. Personal goals earn 1 persona point, revenge, triumph, seduction and victory. Greater Goals earns 1 deeds point for accomplishing goals bigger than you. Beyond the Call earns 1 deeds point for helping no matter what the cost. The Spokes in play. Vincent's admonition. In his game Dogs in the Vineyard, Vincent Baker articulates a convention of Burning Wheel so well that I'd rather use his words than my own. He says, "Every moment of play, roll dice or say yes. If nothing is at stake, say yes to the player's request, whatever they're doing. Just go along with them. If they ask for information, give it to them. If they have their characters go somewhere, they're there. If they want it, it's theirs. Sooner or later, because your game's pregnant with crisis, they'll have their characters do something that someone else won't like. Bang! Something's at stake. Start the conflict and roll the dice. Roll dice or say yes." Vincent's advice is perfect for Burning Wheel. Unless there is something at stake in the story you have created, don't bother with the dice. Keep moving, keep describing, keep role-playing. But as soon as a character wants something he doesn't have, needs to know something he doesn't know, covets something that someone else has, roll the dice. Flip that around and it reveals a fundamental rule in Burning Wheel gameplay. When there is conflict, roll the dice. There is no social agreement for the resolution of conflict in this game. Roll the dice and let the obstacle system guide the outcome. Success or failure doesn't really matter, so long as the intent of the task is clearly stated, the story is going somewhere. Setting obstacles. It's the GM's role to set obstacles. By presenting obstacles where he sees fit, by calling for tests, he builds the mood of the game. For example, making even the simple things difficult can give the game an air of oppression and weight. This isn't a bad thing, and sometimes that's the mood necessary for conveying the situation. Setting obstacles low or only asking for tests at moments of high drama gives the game a heroic and grandiose feel. The players have some role in setting the mood, but by far it is the GM's job to sculpt pace and nudge the atmosphere in a certain direction. And not just through beautiful descriptions, he uses the game mechanics to reinforce those descriptions. Versus tests revisited. Whenever there is a contest between two characters, make a versus test. This is the method of solving disputes in Burning Wheel. We roll for it. Two players want their characters to grab something, we roll to see who gets it. One player wants his character to hurt another, we make a versus test. Attack versus defense. Attacker gets more successes, he injures his target. Defender gets more successes, he protects himself. Now what's he going to do? Want to remain hidden in a crowd? Roll. I'm going to roll to spot you. Want to win an argument? We roll after we've each stated our case. By using versus tests to resolve conflicts, we keep the game fair and action moving, and allow the players a chance to legitimately influence events. Players can spend Artha on rolls, they can call for help, use traits, use forks, and just plain do the unexpected. All of this is necessary for an evolving, engaging game. The players are both the actors and the audience, so they need to be involved in and enjoying the events as they transpire. Versus tests go a long way to creating an engaging experience. Why roll at all? Why not just agree on what's happening? We're all fair-minded adults, right? Well, social agreement is a fantastic ideal, but it's subject to bullying, blustering, intimidation, manipulation, cajoling, persuasion, and lying, all things that are separate from the characters, part of a social dynamic that is apart from the game. By relying on the dice, everyone is on a level playing field. Burning Wheel is a game, not acting class. The versus tests get everyone playing the game. Besides, your characters only advance if you roll the dice. Roll and you'll find that dice in Burning Wheel actually support and bolster the player's actions, even if they fail. Dice help you get what you want, not frustrate your goals. There is a process to it, sure, but I'm confident that the mechanics of this game drive dramatic, intense play. Roll the dice. You'll see. Make characters and play now. At this point, I strongly urge you to make a character. Get a friend or two together and take the system you've just read for a spin. Nothing big, a small one-goal scenario would be best. Play out social and physical altercations using the versus tests rules. Get some tests for advancement and some Artha from the stingy GM. As questions arise about detailed resolution, make a few notes and, after the game, start reading through the chapters in The Rim of the Wheel.